Artificial intelligence has been the tech world's favorite buzzword, but Apple's latest Vision Pro update just redefined what AI can actually do for regular people while keeping their data completely private.
You bet.
What really stands out is how they've integrated AI throughout the entire system with these writing tools. I think having an intelligent writing assistant that can instantly transform your text from casual to pro is really useful. You know, they're using on-device processing for everything, from text analysis to image generation. But here's what's really cool. They've developed something called Image Playground that lets you create custom images using your own photos, and none of that data ever leaves your device.
Oh, wow. Okay. Tell me more about this Genmoji feature. It sounds like they're completely reinventing how we use emojis.
Right. So instead of being limited to the standard emoji library, you can literally describe what you want, and the AI generates a completely unique emoji. Like you could say, a surprised cat riding a skateboard through space, and boom, you've got a totally original emoji to use in your messages.
That's exactly the kind of creative feature that could change how we communicate. But let's talk about the practical applications. What about these smart writing features?
Well, the writing assistance is incredibly sophisticated. It's not just about fixing grammar. It can actually understand the context of what you're writing and help you adjust the tone, structure, and clarity. Plus, with Smart Reply in messages and mail, it can identify specific questions and make sure you're addressing everything in your response.
I can see this being used across their different apps.
Yeah, they've actually extended it to photos and videos in a really clever way. You can search your photo library just by describing what you're looking for. And there's this amazing feature called Create a Memory Movie, where you just describe the kind of movie you want to see, and it automatically creates it from your photos and videos. You know, I think we're seeing a fundamental shift in human-computer interaction. Instead of adapting to the computer's way of doing things, the technology is finally adapting to how we naturally communicate and think. And with a new spatial gallery app, they're showing people exactly what's possible with spatial computing.
Right. Got you, but expanding might be a pain, though.
Well, expanding these features globally is incredibly complex because AI needs to understand not just different languages, but also cultural contexts and nuances. It's like teaching a computer to be culturally fluent in dozens of different societies simultaneously.
Okay, I agree.
I think this is going to set a new standard for how AI features are implemented. The focus on privacy, natural interaction, and practical applications shows that AI doesn't have to be this mysterious black box. You know, it can be a helpful tool that, you know, respects user privacy while still being incredibly powerful. We're witnessing a pivotal moment in technology where AI is becoming more human-centric rather than just technically impressive. The real test will be seeing how people use these tools in ways we haven't even imagined yet, but the foundation being laid here with privacy, natural interaction, and practical utility, that's going to influence how all technology develops going forward. Also, privacy in tech has always been a trade-off between convenience and security. Apple's Vision Pro is trying to completely change how we think about data protection in spatial computing. But I think we'll have to see how it plays out in the end.
That's such an important topic. But more often than not, companies don't deliver on what they promise.
That's so true. I still think they've developed a pretty fascinating system called private cloud compute that processes everything possible right on your device. Basically, they've figured out how to extend that same level of privacy into the cloud. And here's the key part. They never store or share your data. It's used once and then it's gone.
The transparency around that process is quite remarkable. I understand they're even letting, independent experts verify the code in real time.
Exactly right. And you know what's really interesting about that? It's unprecedented in the tech industry. Most companies treat their code like it's Fort Knox. But here's Apple saying, come check our work. It's like having independent auditors for your personal data.
They have this new spatial gallery thing too, right?
Oh man, let me tell you, this is where things get really exciting. They've partnered with some major players like Red Bull and Cirque du Soleil to create these mind-blowing spatial experiences. Imagine watching a Cirque performance where you feel like you could reach out and touch the acrobats.
That's going to be something to see. Definitely. It seems really well thought out.
What's clever is how they're making it all accessible through this new iPhone app. It's basically like having a command center for your spatial computing experience in your pocket. You can discover new experiences, queue up apps, and even manage your vision correction settings all from your phone.
Nice. I think that practical integration between devices must make a huge difference for user adoption.
What's really fascinating? They've thought about the social aspects too. With these new guest user improvements, you can start a session directly from your iPhone and control exactly which apps your guests can access. It's like having a custom tailored experience for everyone who tries it.
I've been thinking the way they're rolling out new content is pretty strategic too, right? Like that Yankees Stadium experience. Sounds incredible.
Oh yeah. And here's what makes that particularly interesting. They're not just filming a baseball game. They're giving you this all-access pass to see how one of the most iconic venues in sports actually works. You get to see everything from the player's perspective to the behind-the-scenes staff operations.
And they're offering different viewing formats too, right? Like with the upcoming Bono film?
Exactly. And that's actually a really smart move. By offering both traditional 2D and Apple immersive video formats, they're creating this bridge between conventional and spatial viewing experiences. It's like they're helping people transition into this new way of experiencing content.
I couldn't agree more. The global rollout strategy definitely seems very measured and deliberate for sure.
Well, here's what's interesting about that. They're launching in major markets like Australia, Canada, and China mainland, but they're being super strategic about feature rollout. Take Apple Intelligence. They're starting with US probably to perfect the experience before expanding. And what's really telling? They're offering free demos at every Apple store where Vision Pro is available. They understand that this isn't something you can just read about. You have to experience it to really get it.
Yeah, I think the hands-on experience will be a lot different from what people expect, from traditional VR.
That's right. And here's why that matters. They're not just selling hardware. They're building an entire ecosystem. It's about creating a complete platform that includes privacy features, content creation tools, management apps, and social sharing capabilities. They're thinking about every single touch point in the user experience.
Do you think this means the future of computing is in safe hands?
Well, I think we're watching the future of computing take shape right in front of us. The way we interact with digital content, the way we experience stories, the way we work and play, it's all being reimagined through this spatial computing lens, and with these careful considerations around privacy and user experience. They're setting some really important precedents for how this technology should develop.
Yeah, for sure. Pretty insane if they really pull it off.
You know what? It really is. And I think that's what makes this moment so exciting. We're not just seeing a new product. We're watching the beginning of a whole new era in how humans interact with technology. And this time, it looks like privacy isn't an afterthought. It's built right into the foundation.
All right, we'll wrap things up here then. Thank you guys so much for listening in and, spending some time with us.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening in, guys. Until the next one,